Okay.
Howdy, my name's Nick. I wanted to make this video because when I was making my purchase for an adjustable kettlebell, there weren't that many out there. So, especially when it came to the competition style, little background on me on why my opinion maybe matter or not matter. I've done all different types of fitness, whether it's powerlifting, calisthenics, done distance running. I just decided to take like a step into this kettlebell thing. So I started out using Joe Daniels, his programming, and I really started to enjoy it. And then at the time I only had the horseshoe style cast iron kettlebells, and I had the highest one I had was 50 pounds, and I knew that I wanted to get something more. And then I started to see, you know, the difference between those cast iron ones and you know, the competition style kettlebell, and I saw that Kettlebell Kings had one for like $300. That's the same weight difference. I think it's 10 kg to 32. And then I saw trusty old Titan Fitness had their kettlebell. So it was at a way cheaper price point. I think it was like $169.99. So I could get two of them, which I did, for the same, pretty much the same price that I would be paying to get one of the Kettlebell Kings. And the Kettlebell Kings one's probably, you know, look better or whatever. And let me just say this: if you're worried about the condition of weightlifting equipment by the time it gets to you, as far as paint goes, some sort of little rust areas, obviously if it's structural and it's like the welding's bad, okay. But if you're worried about the paint or rust, then this ain't the video for you. But anyways, these two came in. It's been now, I've trained for about 16 weeks with these kettlebells. When I got them, I was pretty excited to start using them. I think a couple of the things that I wanted to make sure that I covered, or the things that I was worried about before I purchased them, was is it any different? Like, do they feel different? Because there's plates in here rather than, like, you know, the full bell. And I'll say I bought a green Titan one while I was waiting for these, because these were on back order. It's a 62 pound or 26 kg kettlebell, and I've worked out with both of them obviously, and I still use that one a lot. And yes, you're going to feel a little different. They're not going to be, all the plates load up to a attaching point inside the bell, which I'll open up shortly. And so the feeling of them, you know, whether you're doing a clean or a snatch, they're going to be just a little bit different. But overall, you're going to be lifting the same weight. It's going to be moving the same way inside the kettlebell. So not a big difference there. Then one of the other things, like, does the weight rattle inside the kettlebell? You know, you're not gonna feel the weight rattle inside. I will say there's like a little bit of give, but most of the time it's really just because you haven't tightened the screw down tight enough, and the plates have loosened inside the kettlebell, or when you were attaching plates, you didn't push them far enough in, and then when you tightened it, you thought you had tightened it all the way, but in reality it was still rattling. But I have had no issue. Like, you can hear that. That's because probably the nut is loose, and I'll open it up and see what you're talking about. But I live here in Houston, Texas, so oxidation is going to be an issue. We've got high humidity, but I have put these things through the ringer. I've dropped them from above my head, and they've hit concrete, and I've had no issues after that. So as far as durability was another question, like, are they going to last? Yes, they've lasted this long, and I put them through pretty harsh conditions. And then I guess the last thing I was worried about was just, like, are there going to be any different feeling in the hand as far as the handle to the other kettlebells, which the other competition style are going to be a little thinner around the grip, but you're not going to really have any issues there. So I'll get into this little part of it just to show you guys how they work. I think both of these are set up to 30 kg. I was just doing some presses with them. So this nut right here tightens the bottom half to the top half. It's really simple. You won't have any issues with this thing ever coming out if you just, once you get it down to a tightened position, just cranking down pretty good on it. The bottom of the bell, like no issue, and so that rattle is usually because these plates are loose, and that's what's happening right now. These plates are loose because this nut right here isn't tightened down all the way. But again, you use the ratchet that they give you, which I can't seem to find right now. Alright, anyways, this thing right here, you're going to move it in and out to, basically, if you just tighten down on that thing, that rattle's going to go away, and you're not going to hear it. So just give it a really good tight. Some people said that like you can buy another nut here and then just tighten it opposite directions or whatever. I'm just going to use it as intended. I'm not going to make any modifications to it. I mean, if it ever got to that point, I probably would, but it's not really that big of an issue. So how it functions, pretty simple. Break it loose, unspin this thing, and you just slide the plates off, and they come with, should be 2, 3, 4, 6, 3, 2, and that's how they have to sit. And if you're asking like, if I have 2, can I put more weight in there? Really, you can only put less weight. If you wanted to, you can only put like all the 3s in there. Which is probably not what you want to do. You want to add more weight, you can't. They only fit the plates that come with it. You can't add extra in there unless you like bore out this metal, which, I mean, I don't want to compromise that or whatever. But yeah, they fit in there just perfect, so you can't really add anything extra. I have extra 1-inch plates, which still slide on there, but you get a lot of movement, so you can't really like add anything. That's like a standard barbell, like 1-inch barbell hole. You can't put those on there. So anyways, I love it. I've had it, like I said, for 16 weeks. I've had 2 of them. I've used, done a single movements, double movements. I've clacked them together a bunch. I've dropped them on the floor, and they've lasted quite a long time. I wanted to wait until I got pretty deep into this whole kettlebell thing before I actually had put out a video about this. I'm not a professional reviewer or anything. Like I said, I just put out this video because I didn't really find any good reviews or any at all really about the Titan adjustable kettlebell. So anyways, yeah, if you were on the fence whether to get like the Kettlebell Kings or the Titan and you were really just worried about price point or whatever, then in my opinion, these are just going to work just as fine. I haven't used the Kettlebell Kings. I'm not really, again, if you're coming here and you're worried about rust or paint, then you're at the wrong review, because I really just don't give a crap about that stuff. You're going to use the weights. I don't see a point in it being real pretty, but hey, some people are that way. But yeah. Anyways, thanks. I mean, I guess if you have any questions, just put it in the comments, or, yeah. Well, thanks for watching.